So for clarity's sake, we are going to sim through Season 1 tonight, as promised. Season 1 isn't really going to be too crazy or too ridiculous. I don't even think we're going to have a goal for the season, because this team isn't really our team. I mean, it is, but it isn't. Again, I want to get to essentially where we are in real life, right? Like, get through the season that just happened, see what happens. It's a throwaway season. Season 2 will be where the fun really starts, where not only will we have the owner goal for the season, as we've talked about, not only are we really going to go full force with all of these different rules, which again, I'll make a document option, but we'll start to have the channel point options that we just talked about, where chat will get to really screw with us that much more. Let's be honest. This could end up getting ridiculously difficult, but it's going to take a little bit to add all of those really solid options into the mix. I think for tonight, we keep it kind of simple, go through what we have to go through, and then really have things set up well for tomorrow. So again, you know, free agency even, I'm not going to be too worried about. There will be players here, obviously, that will sign potentially multi-year deals or one-year deals. What I'll do is at the start of next season, we will go through like we do all the time and check out what the AI are doing with their lines and kind of seeing, oh, who signed where. It's not worth getting too hyped up over like, oh, Patrick Kane might have signed here, because you might have noticed on the free agent list, every single one of those dudes were wanting one-year contracts, and they are very likely to sign one-year contracts. We're not going to change anything about the coaching staff. I am going to try to optimize the scouting location. I am going to try to do that. Obviously, our starting scouts or our starting coaches are absolutely dreadful. Our starting scouts, thankfully, aren't that bad. But we do need to have AHL scouts as well, which hurts a lot. I think our European scouting is going to take a pretty big hit for Season 1, which isn't the worst case scenario. I mean, there are some players out there, but outside of like, oh, David Reinbacher in the Season 1 draft, we know it's not going to be too crazy. But yeah, this should end up being pretty fun, man. We have a lot to do in terms of setting this up, being ready to go, and just kind of seeing how this madness plays out. And I'll probably end up adding a scouting section to the channel point option that you guys will be able to mess with us there as well. And honestly, maybe the channel point thing takes over the coaching goals for the season. We'll see. One look again, by the way, at the AHL. Avro, what's up? We don't have too many strong players. I'm not worried about playing people in their best position with the AHL. It's just too much micromanagement. But in terms of top prospects, Joachim Kamel is there. Igor Afanasayev is there at a high 9. And Luke Evangelista. We don't have that many, and Kondelik is there as well. We don't have too many great prospects on this team, hence the real-life Nashville Predators kind of tearing it down a little bit. The only real kind of change is, obviously, Askarov is there, the difference maker in terms of prospects, but whether or not we even keep him is a question in and of itself. We shall see if we keep him long-term. We might not. He might be worth moving on from. So, we'll see what's up. Evacuating sometime this weekend if Dan did a random fire. Nice! Isn't life great with wildfires? We have so much fun all the time. Honestly, NHL-wise, I think we just run UC Saros into the ground this year. I'm not worried about Lankinen playing. We have auto-rotate off. That way Askarov plays a lot. I think we just run our goalies into the ground and try to get through this first season as much as we can. Even the year 1 draft. We'll see how much we do for the year one draft in terms of the typical rules that we've set out with. I probably will follow them. How the hell are we 5-2? Nolan Burke goes down to a herniated disc out until February 3rd. Medium bottom 6 forward prospect, so that's not great. Shouldn't you deal Saros to a contender? In theory, yes. How much control am I going to have over that? I don't know. It depends on how ridiculous you guys get with the whole channel point thing. And Yakov Trenin is out until January 30th. That's not great. My thoughts on Miami getting Messi. Doesn't help the MLS retirement rumors, but at the same time, people that would call the MLS a retirement league are now going to defend that league to the death because Lionel Messi plays there. So it's probably a positive. We are 11-12 on December 1st. Roman Josi leading the team in points. We're not as bad as I would have thought. Forsberg, 21 points in 23 games. That's not too bad. Parsonen having trouble hanging on that top line, but we got to try to make that work. Tomasino as well. Not doing so hot. We're playing them above board, but it is what it is. Nyquist, 11 points so far. Ryan O'Reilly, which is still really weird, 13 points for him. Sissons with 10. Mark Jankowski's played 12 games because of the injury, has 1 point. Novak on 10. If he was younger than 25, I would have played him on the top line this year. Yeah, we really, really struggle to put up points. Really struggle to put up points. Unless your name is Roman Josi leading this team in goals? Is Roman Josi leading this team in goals? You might be. Saros has 917. Lankinen has 1 appearance so far. But hey, goalies don't have energy bars, so who cares? I'm going to try to take the same players that the Preds did. Maybe. That's not a bad way to handle it, and in between. Whoops. We'll double check standings and all that later on. No, I didn't notice he is second in goals. I didn't notice Forsberg had 14. That makes sense. Colton Sissons, third place with 5 goals. Yeah, I don't think we're making the playoffs in Season 1. I think we'll be right in that lottery mix, which is perfect. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Ryan McDonough with a concussion. We'll just get Luke Shen in there. Cole Smith with a concussion. And McDonough's good to go. What's the goofiest trait that my dog has? Goofiest trait that my dog has. I don't know, man. Because I feel like it's a typical dog thing to be like, hey, here's a nice bed. Oh, I'm going to lay on the floor. Or I'll lay half in the bed, half out of the bed, and just not be comfortable. But I feel like those are typical dog things. You know? Yeah, we are not going to make the playoffs, which is great. Let's keep it going. Why not? Like I said, we're not too invested in Season 1. You know, once we start getting into our summer franchise modes, we're never that invested in Season 1 because obviously it's about getting to next season. Cool. Sissons with a sprained ankle. And Cole Smith is out there. I'm not too worried about getting Cole Smith back into the AHL lineup. Luke Evangelista out with back spasms. That's not great. Still haven't lost in overtime. That's pretty nuts. All right, Jankowski, 3 points, minus 12 in 36 games. Crushed it. He absolutely crushed it. And Evangelista is back for Milwaukee. Go ahead and take out Ty Fellhaber because we know he's not staying. So there you go, Cole Smith. It's Nolan Burke who's almost back. Good to know. I know many people love the gold look for Nashville. Do people love the gold look for Nashville? Luke Shen's playing as a forward, I know. It was only for a game or two. Like I said, season 1, not too worried about the whole proper depth thing. We had to wait for Colton Sissons to come back. I don't know how many people do love the gold look for Nashville. I feel like more people complain about it than anything. I personally like it, but I feel like I'm very, very much in the minority on that one. I'm not going to worry about Nolan Burke being put back in the lineup. No biggie. No biggie, no biggie. I don't disagree. Like, the Navy jersey that they had in, like, 2009 was pretty good. But I do think it was the smartest thing they could have done for their branding was to go with the yellow, the gold, call it what you will. All right, man, Milwaukee has had a lot of injuries. Probably could have just turned off injuries for season 1, but that's okay. And at least it still adds some randomness if certain prospects get hurt. It's the best way to grow players in franchise mode. Pray to the EA gods. Because there's no perfect formula. All right. Again, trade deadline's not even a day. So we can just go through this no problem. Jasper Weatherby suffers a concussion. Everybody's concussed. Again, this literally doesn't matter. The AI can't make trades either. For season 1. As we are going to be bad, but not nearly as bad as I thought we'd be. We do have some prospects who have grown a decent amount, which is good. Morale system's on too, so that might harm us a bit. We lost 9-0 to the LA Kings. I mean, I'm not complaining about losing hockey games, but damn, man, you know, whoa. Really? That webcam's higher because of 2K. You're like, wait a minute, why the hell is that? Let's go back down here. So you guys see a little bit more of the scoreboard. Let's just finish up this season. Why not? Like I said, season 1 is what it is. In our reality, the Stanley Cup was won by who won the Stanley Cup. Everything's fine. Holy injuries, though. Holy injuries. 34, 44, and 4. No playoffs for the Preds in season 1 by design. Colorado, Minnesota, Winnipeg make it. So we know the Avs will play the Blues. The Wild will play the Jets. And the Dabless Stars, as they're known around these parts, will take on the Seattle Kraken. The Sharks made the playoffs. And they'll take on Vegas. Calgary was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Damn. In the Metro, Washington makes it. Pittsburgh will play Columbus. Rangers make it as well. And in the Atlantic, Toronto wins it with Florida, Buffalo, and Boston. Making the playoffs, the Lightning missed out. Interesting. Top team in the league, President's Trophy winners, the Washington Capitals. I guess it loves Max Pacioretty being on that team. We were bottom 5 in the NHL, which is a pretty good spot for us to be in. Gotta be honest. In terms of the scoring, Philip Forsberg, our top scorer. 40 goal season. Look at the drop-off. 45 games played for or 45 points for O'Reilly, excuse me, compared to the 70. I've read games played for Pacioretty. I will check that. And then the drop-off there to Novak and Tomasino. Yikes. Yikes, man. Kiefer Sherwood scored 10 goals. That's not bad. Defensively, Yossi was amazing. Tyson Barrie wasn't too bad, but again, I can't imagine we'll be keeping him beyond this season because of that Luke Schenn signing. And in goal, 906 for Saros. Started all 82 games, Lankinen on in relief 7 times. Again, there's no goalie fatigue, so why not? Why not for UC Saros? Let's check the NHL league-wide here. Ovi led the way. Pacioretty played the full season, man. 60 durability. He played the full season, though. As he, Barkov, Kaprizov, and Ovechkin were the only players to break 100 points. They also had McDavid up there, Pasta, Goodrow, Ryan Hartman, Matthew Tkachuk. Top goal scorer was Ovi with 66. You had Kaprizov, Patches, McDavid, Pasternak, Draisaitl, and Matthews all hitting 50. Assist king, 78 for Ryan Hartman in Minnesota, 72 for Nick Backstrom. Defensively, 86 points for Adam Fox, 85 for Makar. John Carlson and Eric Carlson both hit at least 80 as well. Goal scoring, Cale Makar scored 39 goals. I don't think I've ever seen a defenseman score 39 goals. He shot almost 14%. All right. Cool beans. Winningest goaltender, Darcy Kemper with 47. I imagine he was the shutout leader. He was with 11, so the Capitals were just insane. Save percentage king amongst starters, Darcy Kemper to 923. Swayman was up there, as was Leafs legend, Matt Murray. Rookie of the year should be going to Matty Beniers. Owen Power was up there, but yeah, it's going to be Matty Beniers. For sure. 43 goals, 65 points, not bad at all. What I wanted to check really quickly, the PIM leader, Marcus Foligno. Okay. All the enforcers are up there pretty much. Not that Gudis is an enforcer, he's a DFD, but a lot of enforcers up there. And for the hell of it, hit leader, Yanni Hakanpää, 266. Am I done with the Leafs franchise mode? I am, but the uploads will still be going on the YouTube side of things for a while. Obviously, the Twitch side of things, like that was, as you can probably tell by the episodes, like we made that series in May. So it's a little bit behind. Who was the fight leader? Whew, 22 fights for Marcus Foligno. Just Foligno and Andreas Englund punching everybody in the head that they possibly can. Good stuff. Good stuff. So let's find out, Season 1, where this Stanley Cup is going to go. Because it won't be going here. And I imagine our AHL team will miss the playoffs. They did not. 42 wins. The Milwaukee Admirals will take on the Rockford Ice Hogs. What happened to the Finnish franchise? We hit a speed bump that we just couldn't overcome. Unfortunately. Ooh, Askarov. Yeah, we hit a speed bump in that where the team just wasn't going to make it. We were heading essentially for another rebuild. And we just, there's no point at that stage. All right, we'll leave the defense the same. Let's get Nolan Burke back in there. No one else to take out. Cool, we can just go best lines. Works for me. Well, let's see what happens for Milwaukee. I mean, a Calder Cup in Season 1 would be pretty good. Or getting bounced in Round 1 also works. 1-1 split. Game number 3, a 2-1 deficit. A 3-1 deficit. Keep the series alive. Game number 6 in Rockford. We force Game 7. All right, boys. I like it. I like it. The youngsters are fighting a bit. Can they fend off Rockford? Again, a Calder Cup in Season 1. I wouldn't be opposed. Let's see. Brett Senny makes it 1-0. Still 1-0. And the Rockford Ice Hogs, Louis Crevier, the defenseman, scores the series clinching goal. We outplayed him and it didn't matter. The Rockford Ice Hogs eliminate us in 7. Drew Comesso turned pro apparently, and that was that. So no championship on either side in Season 1. Amanda Marvel, not really. I tried to be, but a formula combined with oversaturation just kind of ruined it for me, you know. Star Wars, it's okay. It's okay. Kind of. Oversaturation kind of ruined it for me. The Seattle Kraken win the Stanley Cup. Not the Vegas Golden Knights, but the Seattle Kraken. Who'd they beat in the final? The Toronto Maple Leafs, who beat Kyle Dubas's Pittsburgh Penguins in 7 to get there. They beat the Bruins, the Sabres, and the Penguins, and then lose in the final to Seattle. Chicago wins the Calder Cup over Belleville in 6. Why is it always 4-1? Good question. So the Seattle Kraken get it done. Jared McCann leading the way. Again, that roster is essentially their real-life roster at this current point in time. Grubauer with a 921. Imagine. Philip Grubauer gets it done. Your award winners. Ovi wins the Art Ross and the Hart Trophy. John Carlson, despite not leading the league and scoring amongst defenders, was named top defenseman. Cale Makar scored 39 goals and did not win the Norris. Max Pacioretty won the Bing. Matty Beniers wins the Calder. Bjorkstrand won the Conn Smythe. Darcy Kemper the Vezina. Jack Adams to San Jose's coach. Barkov wins the Selke. Ovechkin the Ted Lindsay. And the Rocket Richard. AHL-wise, P.O. Joseph was the league's leading scorer. When's this going on the YouTube side of things? Not sure. Can I do a collab with Sim for franchise mode? We tried that before and had some troubles. Never say never, I would say. Never say never. Curtis McDermott. Curtis McDermott. AHL Player of the Year. How? Ridley Gregg led the league in points. Curtis McDermott. What? Just... Okay, he did. Wow, he actually led the league in points. He had 61 points, 54 assists. How? Obviously, like, okay, we got Fog of War on now, but what the hell? Curtis McDermott. Wins AHL MVP, which is ridiculous. Chase, thank you for the follow, by the way. Top goal scorer was Sean Farrell of the Laval Rocket. Top rookie was Ridley Gregg, which is good. Curtis McDermott, top defenseman. Top goaltender was Askarov, which is really nice. Kenny, I could, but I won't. Because if I do that for you, then I got to make that. I got to do what I got to do for a bunch of people, and I don't have the time. Chris Terry, MVP of the Calder Cup winning Chicago Wolves. Of course, none of the other awards really matter. They're all random. So that is it for season 1 outside of the draft. This is now... Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to allow trading in the draft. We're not going to turn trading back on for the AI and subsequently for ourselves until after the draft. So we're just going to see what the hell happens here. We're going to see what happens here. Oh my God. The New York Islanders and the New Jersey Devils both secure a lottery win. Connor Bedard's going to end up as an Islander. We'll have the 7th overall pick. Amazing. Amazing. Let's see. Who retires at the end of season 1? Nobody on an NHL roster. Chris Terry retires. There's no way he has wheels, by the way. Again, you got to remember Fog of War. Goalie-wise, Anton Khudobin, which could happen. I mean, apparently he's going back over to the KHL, but that could happen. Pierre-Cedric Labrie becomes a scout. Fair enough. All right, so I haven't really decided how I want to handle this draft. I might just let the AI pick for me, to be honest. Because again, like we have our rules for what we can do in the draft. I'm not going to trade up with New Jersey. Typically, we're only allowed in this rules heavy run 7 picks a season. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8. I'm probably just going to let the AI pick for me, and we'll see who we end up with. So, I think I'm good with it. What about taking Wood and Molendyke as an IRL? That's also an option, too. At least early on, that is an option. So, we'll see. I'll see if I can replicate that as best I can, right? So the Islanders at 1 do end up getting Connor Bedard, which is hilarious. We'll go ahead and sim to our pick. So Michkov ends up going to the Coyotes. Will Smith to the Flyers. Leo Carlson, Adam Fantilli, and a generated guy by the name of Naslund goes to New Jersey. So, yeah, I'll see if Matthew Wood should just be on the board relatively soon. We could take Reinbacher. But you know what? I don't hate that idea of just taking who the hell they actually ended up with. So we will go for Matthew Wood. I'm good with that. Let's take Matthew Wood. Why not? There we go. So at least we have our actual prospect. I doubt we'll end up with Tanner Molendyke as well. Given that we don't have the second first round pick. But Simashev to Anaheim. Reinbacher fell to the Kings. That's shocking. Zach Benson to Montreal. Edward Saleh, as I've learned, to Carolina. Generated Kokkonen to Ottawa. Braden Yeager to Chicago. Dvorsky to Edmonton. Wheels, it was hilarious, and I loved it. Nate Danielson to Vancouver. Quentin Musty to Detroit. Barlow to Vegas. Charlie Stramel to San Jose. Gulyayev to the Blues. Sam Honzik to the Rangers. Callum Ritchie to the Bruins. Oliver Moore to the Rangers. Gabe Perreault to the Winnipeg Jets. Sandin Pellikka to Columbus. Oliver Bonk to Buffalo. Easton Cowan to Minnesota. Tanner Molendyke ended up going to Montreal. Ryan Leonard to the Caps. David Edstrom to Colorado. Brady, I think it was Brady. It was Bradley. Wasn't it Bradley Nadeau? I should become more familiar with him. He's going to be a UMaine Black Bear. Otto Stenberg to Toronto. And Tom Willander to Seattle. Round 2. Let you read them off, but I'm not going to be too hyper-focused. So since Tanner Molendyke's off the board, I don't know if Felix Nilsson's available. Or Kalen Lind. Kalen Lind's there. We'll probably take him. Yeah, I don't think Felix Nilsson's in for me. But we will take Kalen Lind, who was also IRL selected by Nashville. So we'll go for him. Why not? That's a fun way to do it. I like it. I like it. Pick number 69. Start of the third round. Again, I'll scroll through so people can see who ended up where. Again, there are custom rosters out there that replicate Bedard being on the Hawks to start. I explained in the most recent roster update video why I choose not to do it that way. And again, primarily it's because it's just everything that it affects. The year 1 drafts. There's a lot of reasons for it. I do recommend checking out that video to kind of get that full recap. But yeah, again, no harm in using a roster like that. But for me and the negatives that can pop up because of it, yeah, I just chose not to go about it. All right, so round number 3, Jesse Kieskinen, Dylan McKinnon. Otherwise, we might, again, I'll let the AI choose, and hopefully they take Florian Jacki. So, Jesse Kieskinen, Dylan McKinnon. Either of you available? There is Dylan McKinnon. So we'll take Dylan McKinnon. Perfect. Let's see. Later on in round number 3. Karki's off the board. Cam Squires. Florian Jacki, almost a hab. Went to the Sharks instead. You hate to see it. Yeah, I hate to see it. Trey Augustine to the Vegas Golden Knights. So again, we'll look for Kieskinen. I don't think Joey Willis will be there, but I've been wrong before. Well, hello, Joseph Willis, who was a 4th round pick of the Preds IRL. That could not have worked out any better. Let's go ahead and take Joseph Willis. Jesus. Couldn't have asked for a better one. Round 3 will be the last one where I scroll through the remaining options, because obviously in terms of name quality, it starts to drop off a bit. And again, we have Fog of War on. It's a nightmare, but we are going to do our best to deal with it. We are indeed. So you have Yakola, goaltender, Center Masami. Couple of options here. Austin Roast went out the board early. Also, shout out to Marcel. Denver Barkey. Said I am paying attention for the names. Ice cream or gelato? Oof. Probably gelato, man. Gelato's delicious. Gelato's ridiculous. Mac, they're intense. They're intense. They're too much to recap right now. I will explain soon. All right, I think we're at the point now, based off of... Did I pass Aiden Fink? I think I did. Yeah, at this point, I think we're probably just good to let the AI choose for us. And again, the Season 2 draft will technically be our Season 1 draft in terms of us really kind of caring and putting in the effort. So hopefully we end up taking Marcel. And we did. All right, Preds legend, Marcel. Love to see it. Round number 4, pick 31. We get old Tyler Peddle. So we also add Tyler Peddle. Pick number 133, we are going to add Oscarson Milton of Milton's Milton Factory. Oscarson Milton. 5th pick of round number 6. Who are we going to get? It is going to be Matthew Ward, overager of the Swift Current Broncos. And that is our final pick. All right. So fair enough. We do end up, the top 4 picks were all players that the Preds drafted IRL. And again, a reminder, given that we're not using a roster to make sure the player goes to where they were drafted, Connor Bedard ended up with the Islanders. Lou Lamoriello, gonna whip him into shape. I guess. Connor Bedard on a Lou Lamoriello led team is a scary, scary thought, isn't it? It really is. And again, Seattle took Tom Willander, who IRL went to Vancouver, of course, IRL. Did I edit Easton Cowan? I did. He went in the first round. So with that, I think this challenge is officially on, which is really, really scary. Morale meetings are going to be on. God help me. Waivers are officially on. Quality stays down. Computer trades are officially on. Oh, this is where it is going to get just a little bit ridiculous, I would imagine. Everything there is good too. This is going to be something. Now, the good thing is, re-sign phase-wise, there's not going to be much we actually have to do. Obviously, unless they have IRL options. And yeah, of course, for the most part, as you can see, people are already going to be here. The only decision will be whether or not to sign Anton Olsen to his ELC. And yes, there's no complications with that contract or anything. There's nothing about whether or not he wants an extension, which is also very, very much a factor. Iggy, I'm going to make it available tomorrow so it's easier for you guys to kind of follow along. God. Yeah, this is... Whew. Whew, this is going to be something. Favorite IRL team? I am a Bruins fan. So yeah, this is this has already evolved into a monstrosity of a series. It really has. I think we'll probably avoid signing these guys for now until I know for sure what the AHL is going to look like. And then we could bring back Marcus Nurmi. We're not going to do that. We'll go ahead and let him go. That's fine. We'll sign Simon Knack to his ELC. Why not? And again, Forsberg ends up making a whole lot of money. Devs, how's it going? Safe travels tomorrow. Yeah, now we are going to start seeing the deals replicated in terms of what's out there. So we will have some room to sign some people tomorrow. But again, the free agent list should pretty much look exactly as it does now in a real life scenario. At least as we are playing through this, we will have complete freedom to do whatever we care to do, but obviously all we can look at is player role. We don't have exact information on OVR. So, goalie wise, apparently Minnesota let go of Philip Gustafson, which is interesting. So that's something they shouldn't have done, but it is. UFA defenders, Matt Dumba, D'Angelo's out there. Delzato. I mean, there are certainly NHL caliber defenders. We don't have any room for any of them. Apparently, our scouts say, though, that Matt Dumba's a 75 overall, but is a top 4 defenseman. That doesn't make sense. That does not make sense. But apparently, that's the case. And obviously, like Tarasenko, Kane, Phil Kessel, Tatar, all of those guys are out there. We'll see if we actually have any space. AJ shouldn't be a free agent either, I believe. But again, you can't stop the AI from doing some dumb stuff. For example, Minnesota not signing Mikey Milne for whatever reason. And apparently the Leafs not keeping Nick Abruzzese for whatever reason. But again, those type of things I'm going to try to ignore because you can't stop the AI from doing dumb stuff. If they want to do dumb stuff, they are going to do dumb stuff. But Ryan McLeod, Shane Pinto still RFAs. And I guess Edmonton figured out the Evan Bouchard side of things. So I'm intrigued to see what these AI teams look like at the start of the year. We will go ahead and save here and kind of figure out our next steps. Because, again, this is where things are going to start getting pretty stupid.